Hey everyone, welcome to my Flosstube channel, Flosstube number 12, Stitching Moon, and my name is Megan. And yeah, so today is February 3rd, and today I'm just going to show you whips that I've been working on, and I have a little bit of haul, and then just a little bit of plans. So yeah, we'll get right into it. I have been working on, actually I worked on 10 things since my last Flosstube, and that's not everything I have now, so I'm getting up there. And I have a new start as well. But first I'll just kind of go in order of what I've been working on. First I have my daily project, which is the temperature tree. And this is from Stitchin Mommy on Etsy. She, has a Flosstube too. And I'm basically doing a leaf each day, and then each day, since I'm not done with the tree, I'll do one length of thread to fill in the tree. And because I'm living in Norway, I am doing the cold climate color scheme. So there's a regular in-between one and then a hot one. And so here it is so far. Obviously January's done because we're in February, and then I got a couple for February. And where you see those blank dots in the middle of the leaves, that's where the days it snowed. And then at the end, I'm just going to go fill them all in with white. And actually, so far in February, it's been snowing. It's snowing as we speak. And yeah, all 3 days so far in February, we've had snow. But the temperature overall hasn't been too bad. The blues are the colder ones. And the greens, even that yellow green, are more warmer for this time of year. I mean, not warm, but, relatively. And I'm doing the high temperature for the day. So it did get colder, obviously, through those days. But this was the high temperature. Yeah. So overall, I don't think there's too much more to say about it. It's 14 count Aida. And I did have to do a little bit of frogging on some of these branches because it's a little confusing to know where they're all going. So I put some maybe in the wrong spot and had to just redo those. But yeah, the tree is a lot of stitching. I was thinking of doing one of these each year to compare, but I really don't want to stitch this tree again. So I think I still want to do a temperature tree each year, so I'll do one where you don't have to do a whole tree or anything like that. She has a lot of other patterns where it's just kind of the colors, so that's probably what I'll do next year. Alright, so then I have my focus piece, which has been my full coverage, one of them, and it's my first Heaven and Earth design, and yeah, it's been fun. I've been working on this every other day, basically on the even days of the month, so I got 8 days since you last saw it, and 4,282 stitches, so it has 8,633 total, and it's only 2.78% done. But yeah, it's gonna be a big one. And oh, let me show you what it's gonna look like first. I do have that, and it's called Together by Jim Warren. Oh, there is a glare because I'm right in front of the windows. So that is kind of what it'll look like if you can see through the glare. And if you follow me on Instagram, you're probably sick of seeing this because I've been great about posting now every day from what I worked on. So, you see all the progress and things that I'm working on. I'm also Stitching Moon on Instagram in case you want to follow. But yeah, so this is where I am. And hopefully the color should come out. I'll be in the woods and the trees, the dark part, for a while. But that's alright. I'm really enjoying stitching on it. There's not too much confetti so far. Just a little. So it's really not bad. And I was obviously doing a diagonal stitching, finishing each diagonal before going on to the next. But now you can see I'm kind of going into the other areas, and that's because I started to notice some diagonal lines. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. It's very, very slight, but I did start to see, you could see that I was doing just like a diagonal. So I figured I have to go a little bit into the other diagonal just when it carries over. And the reason I don't do that, or I don't like to do that, is just because I always make mistakes. I'm terrible at counting even when there's a grid, so I'm just trying to do the continuous ones that are really easy to count, and hopefully that works out so you don't see any lines or anything. So yeah, that I think is all. Oh, it's on 25 count easy grid, 1/1. So I think that's all for that one. I'm doing this as a focus piece for, well, I did for January, I'll do it for February and March, and then I'll switch over to my next full coverage focus piece. All right. Then the next thing I worked on, the other things in between those, I basically have all my whips on a wheel on an app, and then I just spin that each day that I'm not working on together. So that's fun. It's like a little surprise, and you never know what you're going to work on. So the first one that came up was called Good Fortune, and this was a long lost whip that I found from, I probably started it in like 2002, and it was my first ever counted cross stitch, and at the time I didn't like the Ada. I was used to stitching on stamped cross stitch, so it was very soft, and I just didn't really like how it looked. Now I'm fine with it, but at the time I didn't, and so I didn't really finish it. But yeah, it's been sitting in my closet and moved with me through all the places we've been, like 10 different places. So it's great I didn't lose it, but yeah, this is what it will look like. It's by a kit by Creative Accent. And I thought that I would finish this on the day it came up. I really thought I could. It's almost finished. And it's a lot of new things, like new types of, I don't know, stitches or styles that I've never done before, like couching and cording. So I'm learning how to do that. It's definitely not perfect, especially in the corners and around the edges, and I really didn't know how to end these when you do them. I tried to look for videos on YouTube, but I couldn't find it. So this is what it looks like. The gold, I don't know if you can see the gold, hopefully. And I just have, I think, one more border to do for, I don't remember if it's couching or cording, but yeah, and then after that, it'll be finished. And you can see this hoop mark is literally a 20-year-old hoop mark, so that's going to be fun to get out. Yeah, so it has it has full cross, it has half cross, it has backstitch, it has couching, it has cording, all the things. But yeah, I don't know how I did. You guys can let me know. But I know next time it'll come up, I will be able to finish it. So this should be a finish soon, just depending on when it shows up again. But yeah, I think it's pretty. I'll probably just get a frame and frame it myself, which I've never done before, but we'll see. And put it back in my lovely, this plastic bag, it's been living in for 20 years. Yeah, because if I started it in 2002, literally been 20 years. It's held up well. Okay, next, Forest Heartbeat. And this was my birthday start. I'll show you what it'll look like. Yep. Oh, more glare. Yeah, I know. I'll have to do these sideways. Is that the right way? Yeah. Why does that look funny? No, that's not the right. What? Okay. No, it goes this way. Sorry. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. Yeah. It looked funny for a sec. But I was drawn to this one. I know it doesn't have a lot of colors, but just like the symbolic part of it. I like, well, obviously she has the moon in her hair. I love the moon, and just the wolf, like ever since I've told you guys, but the book Running with the Wolves, it's just like connecting with your inner wild and stuff, so this reminded me of that. So yeah, it's actually been more colorful to work on than the picture shows, but now I'm in her hair, and her hair is pretty dark, and there's a lot of it, so So here is what she looks like. And yeah, there we go. So I'm really liking the colors of like the sky in the background with the trees. And it's amazing how much this reminds me of Norway, like where I live, where in this wintertime especially, the sky looks just like that. It's not very bright in the middle of the day, and we have trees like this all around and on the mountains, and it just looks so much like where I live, which is cool. I was doing this well, I'm going page by page because it's the chart I'm following. I couldn't get it really to show up in Pattern Keeper. So I'm doing each page, but then I was doing kind of the blocked diagonal, and the reason I stopped doing that was just because it didn't really make sense the way this is charted. There's just a lot of the same colors going in this direction with her hair, so it just was easier to keep going and work in the flow that's on the pattern. So yeah, that is that one. It's by a kit by RTO. Alright, the next one was the Gullianna sampler, and this was my one that I had to restart 3 times, and this time, yeah, it's going to work. And the last time I had to restart it was because it didn't fit on the fabric, so you gotta see the size of this fabric now is, make sure it's the right way, yeah, is it? No, okay, it goes this way. But I needed a very big piece of fabric, and I will cut it down after I finish the entire border. But yeah, I'm just filling out the border right now, and I forgot to show you again what it will look like when it's finished. Okay, this. It's an Etsy shop, Galliana cross stitch, and it's quite big. And it's basically a 2020 type sampler, and it has hidden things about things that happened in 2020. So mostly COVID related things, but also some things about like the fires in Australia and things we had more time to do in quarantine. So I'm doing it where in the reddish color will be all the different hidden things so they stand out, and then the other stuff in a purplish, antique purple color. So yeah, it should go, no, I was right the first time. It goes like this. Where the top, no, what am I doing? It does go like this. I just haven't filled out the top yet because the top is red. So this actually will be representing a film strip because we had so much more time to watch things in quarantine. So that's, yeah, just working on the border. So it's not very exciting right now, but at least I'll know it will fit. I do plan also on, when I'm done, adding my own little touches around the border, like on the outside, because good things and bad things obviously happened in 2020 just personally, and one was, well, the not so good thing was we had to put my kitty down, and he was my buddy. He was special, and so we had to put him down in 2020, and then but the good thing was my daughter was born, so she was literally right before COVID happened, birth. So on that side I'm going to put her name 2020, and on this side I'll put the name of my cat Luca 2020. So just a little memorial, personal piece. So the rate this is going, though, it won't get done until like 2030. Okay. Oh, and just so you know, I put in 570 stitches since last time. It was just one day, and I have 877 total, and it's 2.7%. Okay, next I worked on the family heirloom tablecloth because I had to make a deal with my husband that I would work on it more than just in December. And this was the piece that his great-grandmother started back in 2022 again. I mean, 2002, so 20 years ago. And she was 90. She must have been around 90 when she started it and passed away at 93, so she never got to finish it. And his grandmother has had it all this time and never really got around to working on it. So since she knew I cross-stitched, she handed it on to me to do. And I was just going to work on it in December for Christmas, because it's a Christmas tablecloth. But then when I was talking to my husband, he was like, oh, I thought you were going to be able to finish it like sooner, because in case anything happens to my grandma, even though she's relatively young. But yeah, I was like, fine, because it's not my favorite thing to work on. But now I'm going to do it also on every 25th of the month for Christmas. So, this is gigantic, bear with me. She had already done the entire border, which is great, and she did this, like the two, there's two of these that she finished, which is in the corners, little pinecone decorations, and she has amazing stitches. At 90, I can't believe how good she was doing, and she counted perfectly. There was no mistakes so far that I found, so pretty amazing. Now I can't even find where I've done. This thing is gigantic. And it's using yarn, like a whole strand of yarn, which I've never worked with before. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. She had started on just like one leg of the deer, and I did most of this in December. I don't have a picture because it didn't come with one, just the pattern. So what I've done on that one day was the mushrooms here, and I filled in more of the snow and ice on the ground. And just started, over here actually is the start of a woman's shoe who's feeding, there's going to be 2 deer, and she's feeding one of them. So, not too much, but yeah, it's something. And it's, yeah, you can see up close, it's very big holes and stitches. I have to make sure my needle doesn't like fall through. So yeah, that'll be cool when it's done. And I'll have to fold that up later, so I don't want to do it now. Okay, next was Scorpio. This is the Nora Corbett Scorpio. And I worked on her one day. Basically everything besides the focus piece and temperature tree I just worked on one day, because it just came up on the wheel one day. So this is what she will look like. And I have the whole collection of all the zodiac signs. And I started on Scorpio because that's my sign. And I'm doing it on all the called for things. The special flosses in the embellishment pack, which I've never used any embellishments before, so when I get there, eventually that'll be interesting. And I swear, this lady is the death of me. She's going to be the death of me, because every time, which hasn't been a lot, but every time I've stitched on her so far, I've had to frog a huge section, which annoyed the crap out of me. I was like yelling, I was like so frustrated, because that's like my least favorite thing in the world, but I had to on this one because I couldn't fudge it, because just the nature of this kind of project would just mess up everything and it didn't look right. So I'm only working on her skin right now, and I have to figure out which way it goes. Not that way. Yeah, this way. I'm doing it on, it's a 32 count Country Cafe Mocha, something like that. Oh wow, it's hard to see in this light. Yeah, very hard to see. She looks funny right now, like a naked chicken or something. But basically, I'll show you, I'll kind of point out what things are. So here's her arm coming up there, and part of her face. Let's see, right, I hope you can see this, guys. It's hard for me to see it right now because I've got like the windows right behind it. But hopefully you can see this. The last time you saw it, you know, I talked about like ripping out all the shoulder because it was like 3 crosses off from where it was supposed to be somehow. And then this time I had to redo, take out most of the face that I had been working on because I was off by a half cross, which is so frustrating. At first I tried to go around it and like fudge it, but it really looked awful. So I had to do that. But I don't know what it is about this project. I have other ones on 32 count linen that are just fine, and I can see it better, count it better. There's something about this one that I just can't. Maybe it's the color. It could also be that the color of her so far just matches and blends in, so it's harder. But I don't know, it's been really frustrating. So, I hope she's worth it in the end. Okay. Oh, and also, just speaking of the Zodiac girls from Nora Corbett, I have a video from the first 6 where I talk about each pattern and also the zodiac sign, and just kind of like, because astrology is kind of one of my interests, so I just talk about what I see in the pattern representing the sign and a little bit more about the sign. So yeah, if you're interested in that stuff, definitely go check that one out. It's my Flosstube Extra 1, and then I'm going to make one for the last half of the zodiac, which, yeah, I don't know when that'll be. I haven't had that much time to even stitch lately, so I've started to make notes on those last ones. I'm like at Capricorn, I think. So I have 3 left to like take notes on, and then from there I'll do another video. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know when it'll be, but hopefully not too far. Oh yeah, gotta put her picture back in. And all the ones that I'm not talking about number of stitches or percents is just the ones I don't have on Pattern Keeper, which now is quite a lot. Okay. Next is Children on the Beach, one of my other full coverages. And I've done this again one day. I put in only 380 stitches because this was in this week, and this past week I just really haven't had that much time as I want to stitch, so things have been kind of slow this week. But total it's 7,260 stitches, and it's 6.54% done. Oh, I'm going to show you again what it looks like first. And it's charted by Cross Stitch Collectibles. Yeah. And it's a painting by Mary Cassatt. And I chose this one because we had this picture hanging up in our dining room growing up, and the little girl reminded me of our whole family of me when I was a baby, and it reminds me now of my daughter, who is almost 2 in a month. But yeah, this is where I'm at. And I'm just loving the colors coming out in the rocks, because it's a painting, you got a lot of reds and stuff coming up, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. There's not a lot of confetti up here, but there is a lot of confetti down in the rock area, so it's a little slower going. But yeah, I just really love stitching on this one. It's on 18 count Aida 2/1. And I am doing diagonal on this one, and I'm keeping on doing it because I haven't noticed so far any diagonal lines, but if I do, I'll just do what I did on my other one together and just carry things over. But yeah, so far I really can't see that in this one, so that's good. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. And next I have my Halloween stitching that I do on the 13th and 31st of every month, but I only had it one day, I think, since you last saw it, on January 31st. And I didn't get much at all in this one, only 294 stitches. And it's the Halloween Quaker. And I have a picture again. Yeah. By Lila Studio on Etsy. A very popular one that people have done. That's what it'll look like. So yeah, not much. In total though, I have 8,917, and it's 49.55%, so I'm almost halfway there. This one's fun. I like how there's a lot of variety in the different motifs. But all I did since the last time was I finished up this at the bottom. I had started it, and I really don't know what it is. I think it's this looks like a watering can or a vase or a pot or something. And obviously this is a flower, but I don't know what that thing is. So if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. And then I also did this boot. I still have to fill in the polka dots, but that's it. A lot of black stitching that I did last time. But yeah, it's a fun one. I'm hoping to, I won't have it finished by October, but then in October I hope to finish it. And the final one is a new start. Yay! I'm doing New Moon, New Start, which wasn't my idea, but I feel like it should have been because I'm stitching moon, right? But basically on every new moon, every month, I will start a new project. So that means 12 new projects at least by the end of the year. I'll probably have other ones in there too. So yeah, we're getting up there. We will be getting up there. This one, yes, my first owl embroidery, owl forest embroidery, and it's the 100 owls. That is also a very popular one. And yeah, I just love how it looks, and I like owls a lot. It's probably my favorite bird. So I'm excited about this. Got it started. It's my first time using variegated floss. I got the whole kit. You can get this pattern for free on their website, but I just wanted to get everything. And I like, so they have two different fabrics that they have for this one on their site. And one is kind of a neutral, and then this one is emerald. No, limestone. So it's more green, and I really like how everything kind of pops on that green. I like that. But when I got it though, I'll show you, the fabric doesn't look that green. It's definitely not as green as I was expecting. So it's a very light shade, but I think once everything's on there, maybe it'll pop more. And I have a very small start. Oh, I still have the pattern attached to it. Hold on a sec. And if you don't know much about Owl Forest and their kits, they come with the big paper pattern and also like cutouts for different sections that you can cut out and do one at a time. So it's easier to see, it's easier to just have with you. So that's really nice. And but it was really confusing, I have to say, to figure out. It's a Russian company, and I had never done one of these before, so when I first got it, I was very overwhelmed and confused. I was like, what is all this? Because each section is numbered, but it didn't really seem to have any rhyme or reason for the number, and then the ones they give you to cut out, I didn't see any numbers on there, so you have to kind of look and see, okay, is this the right one? So that was a little tough to start, which is why I don't have too much on the start so far. Make sure it's going the right way. Yeah. So I'm starting on number 1, motif number 1, that's labeled as number 1, and that's all I have. So you can kind of see the variegation coming out in there. That's all one color, or the same symbol for floss, but you can see the greens and the browns. So that's fun. And it's on, this is a 32 count, but yeah, you can see it's more grayish neutral than like a green even, and I think I can't really tell how it's coming out in the camera, but it might be a little washed out, but it's still not that strong, which maybe is a good thing. But what else? Yeah, it's 2/2 on the 32 count, and this one's again easier to count than the Scorpio. And yeah, I'm doing it because they said the variegation you should do, or one way to do it is finish the full cross before going on to the next one. So instead of, you know, typically, or at least I go half cross, half cross, half cross, then back and fill in the full cross. But to help, they said to help maintain the variegation, do just finish that cross before going on to the next one. So that's been different to stitch on. And this is just the wreath around the owl. So not exciting right now, but it'll be fun to work on. So that is all of my whips that I worked on since last time. And it's been fun doing the different variety, but also having a focus so I can see good progress on one, and then it's kind of a surprise and random and variety on the other ones. So that's fun. Okay, Okay, got all this stuff. So, as you noticed, okay, ignore all that pile back there, it's a mess. But I used to film up in my living room, and then I had to be back down here in my bedroom on my bed because people were home and around, so for the holidays. So I came down here, but now I think I might stay down here because it has like a nice natural light, and there's just more room where I can put stuff, because before I just had my couch and then I had stuff on the floor and things were falling all over the place. So just having my bed to put things on works well. So I'll probably be here from now on. So yeah, next I want to talk about just a little haul that I got. And well, no, before that, which will be haul eventually, I'm gonna put this pattern back into Owl Forest, so don't lose that. Okay, but yeah, so since I last was here, I won 2 more giveaways. So I've already won 2 giveaways recently, and now I won 2 more, so I'm super excited, and they aren't here yet, but I'll tell you about them a little bit and who they're from. So the first one was from Vonnie from Thread the Needle, is her channel, and it's going to be a nice hand-dyed fabric, a small one, and then some nice fancy floss that goes with it. So I'm really excited about that. And if you guys like full coverage, you definitely need to check out her channel. I'm sure most of you know her already and follow her, but yeah, definitely go check her out. And she's also super enthusiastic and just loves what she does, so her passion just comes out, and she has different things and different ways of stitching that she's trying all the time. So definitely go check her out. And the other one that I won was from Alexis, My Amazing World. She also has, obviously, Flosstube, that's how I won the giveaway. But yeah, so this one was a little small pattern of 2 snowmen, or it was a snowman and a snow woman holding hands, and it's just a really cute little wintry pattern. So yeah, excited about that. And I really love Alexis's channel. If you guys haven't seen her, definitely go check her out. I'm going to link all these below, but I just love her energy, and yeah, she's got some good projects, and yeah, I just really like, yeah, I like her channel. She's really fun to watch. She's got a great sense of humor. So yeah, go check her out too. Now, speaking of giveaways, I want to do one once I reach 1,000 subscribers. So I'm around 850 now, and hopefully it won't take too long, but yeah, I want to do one for you guys as well. So stick around for that. Oh, what else? I've got other notes here. Yeah, so the rest of my haul that I got. So the first one was a project bag that I got from Kaylee on Instagram. I'll link her Instagram below. She's really active on there, and she has a shop, the sewingshop.ca for Canada, I think. I'll link that as well. And she makes a lot of project bags. She's also making patterns, and she had a really great sale going on, which made it kind of okay for me to send it all the way to Norway. So yeah, this one is an owl project bag. I just said I loved owls, and it fits an 11 by 11 Q-snap, so it's a bigger one, but she also has other bigger ones, I think. But this is the back of it, just all those cute little owls. And here's the front. You can see kind of the owls in the background, and this is where my Together Heaven and Earth design is living. I was going to have it for Owl Forest, but I wanted to put something bigger in here because it has a lot of room. So I got all the floss squished in down there, and then I'll put back in the Q-snap and everything after. And yeah, it's got also this little owl on the zipper. So it's great. It has a lot of room in here, so even once the Q-snap is in here, you've got room for other stuff if you need to. She also put in with it the floss drops, I think it is. 3 of those, so I can definitely use those. Always can use those. So thank you, Kaylee. And I noticed one thing, when you have the Q-snap with, or the 11 by 11, which I have my project on, when you have the grime guard and then all the fabric, it's a little tight squeeze to fit it in here, but it's doable. I do it. So that's just one thing, but yeah, it's really well made and so cute. Alright. Last bit of haul. So for Christmas, I got a gift card to one of the local stores here. It's called the, is it called? No. It's called, I think it's just the Sew, well, in English, it's the Sew Shop. And they have a lot of knitting. Knitting is so huge here in Norway. That's and even non-knitting stores, you could just go in and they have all this knitting yarn, and so many stores. It's really popular. But not too much cross-stitch. In the store that I'm talking about, they have DMC, but here in Norway it is equivalent to around $2.70 for one skein, I believe. So I'll basically get that if I just need one or just a couple at a time, but I'm not going to kit up, you know, a HAED or anything like that with that. So they also have some kits, but a lot of them are like advent calendars. They have some tablecloths and kind of more old-fashioned things, a lot of little tiny baby samplers, but not things with a lot of detail that I'm used to. So, but I noticed they had some more this time when I went and looked with that gift card, and I saw some that actually caught my eye, and as a set, I think they're really cute. Or even, not cute, but I don't know what they are. So I think they'd look really well all hanging on the wall together. They're little, city and transportation kits by Permin, a big brand here. I think it's a Danish brand, but I'll show you one at a time. So they have, and there's a pop of color in the vehicles, so it's yellow, red, and blue all together. And I just like the city background a lot, and it's cool that it's in black and white, and it should be pretty quick to stitch up. And they have not too much floss to go with it. So there's that one. Then there's the bus, the red bus, and a trolley car. So yeah, I think they look really cool together. Just something really different too than things that you normally see with cross stitch. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Who knows when I'll work on them, but I have them now. Let's see. Now I think all that's left is just a little bit about plans. I'm going to keep doing the rotation I've been doing because I really like that and I think it's working well. But this coming weekend, right now it's Thursday, so starting tomorrow afternoon and into the weekend, I'm actually going to have a free weekend all to myself. My husband's taking our daughter to visit his grandparents, and oh, it's going to be so nice. Of course, I love them around, but it's nice to have alone time now and then, especially for me as an introvert. I get energy from being by myself. So, and I get so much stitching time, which I haven't, like I said, got that much recently, so that's going to be so nice. I'm going to get a lot of progress on my focus piece, because I think I'll do that all of, I think Sunday. Friday, so half of Friday after work, and then Sunday I'll have a whole day to do that, and then whatever comes up on the whip wheel for the other day. So I am so excited. That's going to be fun. I wonder, I might try and do an unofficial 24 hours of cross stitch, which is an official thing started by Jen Lee. She has Instagram, Flosstube. I'm sure you've heard of her. She has like 1 million followers on Flosstube, and a Facebook group for 24 hours of cross stitch. And she started this event, I don't know when, but she usually films it with her mom, and they just come on and talk together, and they're so fun to watch. Yeah, I just really love watching them. I'll probably watch them as I stitch this weekend, because they just came out with a new one, and they're pretty long. But yeah, they're really funny together, and she does more, not full coverages, but more samplers, but that's fine. And yeah, I'll link her below just in case you haven't seen her. And yeah, I don't know, so I might try and just clock my hours, see how many I get, but not anything official like that. So next time you see me, I might have another new start, because the new moon for the next couple months is like in the beginning of the month, so I've been averaging now every 2.5 weeks that I'm able to film, so again, I always like to try and do every 2 weeks, but I don't think that's ever happened. So probably 2.5 weeks when you'll see me again. So, and mid-February? No, so I won't have another new start. What am I talking about? Time flies. I feel like January went by so fast. Way faster than November and December, which I don't know why, because you have so much going on those months, but nothing really in January. But I just think it flew by so fast. Anyone else? Yeah. So that's all I have for today. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.